Before you write any comments, understand that at the end of this video, I'm probably going to address the things that you comment about. So the piston is wet. That right there is, we're at almost a tank of fuel. Not quite, it's about 3/4 of a tank of fuel. And that's what the top of the piston looks like in a brand new, made in China saw that saw nothing but Moto Milk 32-1. Okay, so I'm here with Jake, and that is the 462 that he has ran 2 or 3 tanks?
About 3.
About 3 tanks before today, and then today we just ran an entire tank through this saw of 32-1 Moto Milk. So we're gonna take it apart and see what it looks like. That's typical of Stihl. They like, I don't know what the deal is, but they get those lines in there. But that's very normal, right? Combustion chamber up there is, yeah, it's black, but I don't know if I would call that buildup. And maybe. Let's see what we got over here. Roll that piston up. It's still wet. You can see me smearing it around there. Let's see. But what Sarah was saying about the clear stuff, can you rotate that all? Oh yeah. We definitely got it kind of wet over here and stuff, but it's hard to tell. Oh yeah, there we go. He's showing me on the crank rod here. Yeah, that's slick. So definitely it's oiling, right? But it's not soaking wet. Let's see what it looks like on this side over here. Yeah, we got it. So there's definitely oil in there. It's wet. We got some coking going on the piston here. But from my experience, this is like just normal Stihl stuff whenever you don't have a muffler mod, at least. This is bone stock. This right here is what the muffler looks like. And it was running, what were you running before?
50-1, the orange Stihl.
50-1 orange Stihl.
That was for 2 years.
And it caught for 2 years, yeah. Okay, so this is not a new saw at all. That's why that cylinder looks like that. But, so all of this blackness that's on there is likely from the orange Stihl, because you can see right here where it started to clean it up. It was a lot worse beforehand. He's got pictures of that to prove it. But I mean, you know, it's slick with oil. The oil is there. You can't make it out as good as you can whenever it's got a lot of dye in the oil. But as Sarah was talking about, what's it hiding? I don't know that it's hiding anything per se, but I do get the drift. And
through there you can see.
Yeah. So what's my thoughts? My thoughts are it's fine. Okay, gang, so here we are. We've got 2 saws that have been run on nothing but Moto Milk. And so we're going to tear it apart and see what it looks like. Well, they've already been torn apart. So this one right here is, sorry, this is bugging me. God, I hate these Stihl flippy caps. But anyways, this right here is a 261 owned by Jake at the Saw Spa. And it has ran, I think it's on its 11th tank of Moto Milk. It's never seen anything but Moto Milk at 40-1. And this is what it looks like. So now it has been apart for couple weeks, you know? And all of the stuff is just drained to the bottom. Basically all we're going to be able to see here. Come on. We're going to be able to see There's a little bit on the crankshaft. Yes, the top of the piston is black. A lot of you guys I know are like, I don't know. You got all kinds of thoughts about that. I open up pistons or saws all the time. The top of the piston's always black, pretty much. But what we're looking for is wear. I mean, you can tell it's still a little bit wet and everything. And again, this is at 40 to 1. There's clearly no bluing on the rod, right? Or on the crankshaft or anything like that. So it's clearly running cool. Whatever you can or can't say about possible carbon buildup, what you can't say is that it's running hot. And so I think that personally, truly, I mean, really, I'm trying to wrap my brain around this. Stuff like this, and I hesitate to say it because I know how people get, this always happens on Stihl chainsaws. I mean, every one of them, they get stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know if they don't clearance things very well and stuff, but it's extremely common for this kind of stuff to happen. Those lines around the ports. You know, does it mean that it's bad? No, it doesn't. It just means you're getting some metal on metal clearancing because it's brand new. My experience is Stihl chainsaws, they do that stuff. Does it mean anything? No. I'm not worried about it, at least. The exhaust, yes, it is black, but no, it is not gummy. I've already checked this. A little bit of oil buildup, but that's really about it. You know, there's normally after 10 tanks, it would be gummy if you were having a problem. If you were having a problem. If you're not having a problem, it wouldn't be gummy, you know, but that's clearly oily and it's just black. Yeah. So there you have it. That's one saw that has seen 10 tanks of nothing but Moto Milk at 40 to 1. All right, now this is the brand new, cheapest cylinder I could get, MS390 cylinder. This is on the Average Dude Mods saw. So here we go. We're going to break into that for the first time. I took it out and here we go. What do we see? All right. Made in China. That shit always happens, you know, just like the Stihl. But let's see. This now, I ran this is at 32 to 1. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't see. So the crank is wet. The piston is wet. That right there is, we're at almost a tank of fuel. Not quite, it's about 3/4 of a tank of fuel. And that's what the top of the piston looks like in a brand new, made in China saw that saw nothing but Moto Milk 32 to 1. So this right here, those lines, that's the same thing as the Stihl. That is not from heat. That is not because your oil isn't good. That is very specifically because that piston is rubbing up against the ports and it wasn't properly smoothed out. And that happens all the time. Has nothing to do with the oil. I got good oil residue on my fingers, but this is different stuff than what we are used to. This does not, let's go ahead and pop this off so we can look right into the actual bottom of the clamshell. There you go. We've got some oily residue left over. So clearly it's in there. It's not dry as a popcorn fart, but it kind of does look like it is because it's pretty much clear. But you can see, you know, when I rub my fingers around and stuff. So the oil residue is good. It's just not what we're used to, right, guys? Let's look in that cylinder, see if we can, let me see if I can get my light. It's nice and wet all over. That looks great. Yeah, that looks fantastic. Hey guys, so now that you've seen everything, first thing to mention is, yes, I know about the carbon buildup. Us guys doing the online thing, we're always looking for things to talk about, and that's an easy target for a lot of people, you know. But the reality is everything has always produced carbon buildup. Some things are just better about it than others, and you learn to deal with it. For us, growing up, you just put a new set of rings in, or polished up that top of that piston. You just cleaned everything. You cleaned your exhaust port. You took your power valve apart and you cleaned it. Right, the power valves for like two-stroke dirt bikes and stuff. You just did that stuff. Nowadays, we have this product called Red Armor, and you just run whatever you want. This is the way I operate. It is my motive operandi. I run whatever two-stroke oil I want to run. It may be AMSOIL. It may be Caster 927. It may be Motul. It may be Bel-Ray. It may be Honda HP2. You name it. I run whatever I want to run. And then, after a while, I run a little bit of Red Armor. And the Red Armor cleans it right up, right? And so you may be asking yourself, why don't you just recommend Red Armor 100% of the time? I do. It's good stuff. It's good stuff. Well, why are we even talking about Moto Milk? Why is this in the conversation? Because I have witnessed it. It generates more power. And that's it. It is expensive. We have found out that it does build up a bit of carbon. I don't care. And if you care about that stuff, then this probably isn't for you. Don't buy it. It's cool. It's okay. Don't buy it. This was built as a racing oil, right? This is for competition use and to go into competition motorcycles, and we're seeing if it'll work in our chainsaws. Plain and simple. It's easy, fisheezy. So it says right on there, synthetic motor oil, engineered for racing. Am I going to use it? Yes, I am, because until I find a product that produces horsepower like it does, that's what I'm going to use. My tests have shown that it generates more power, and I'm going to continue to use it. And then after a little while, run X amount of tanks in this, I'll run a few tanks of Red Armor just to clean it out. That's how I operate, and I recommend everybody operating that way, really. But if you're the guy that's going out, let's say you got a lawn care business, and you run your trimmer, your weed eater, that's what I always called it, your weed eater for, seriously, 30 hours a week. Or a blower or something like that. Is this the right stuff for you? I'm going to go ahead and say probably not. Stick with the Red Armor. It's just, I have a hard time with this because I don't care. And I don't know why anybody would. You just buy a bottle of it, use it all up, and be like, damn, my saw ran good with that stuff. And then run a little bit of Red Armor, clean it out. It's just not an issue to me. So another thing, let's talk about the dyno testing that's coming up. That's coming up on June 17th. We're going to dyno this stuff and see if it actually is producing more power or if it's all a placebo effect. It's just nothing but in my head. And we will test this out. Temperature testing. Boy, a lot of you guys really didn't like me using just a regular old infrared temperature gun. That right there, whenever you guys get critical about that stuff, it just makes me laugh. And it just tells me when people are critical, then they've probably never actually done themselves. Because I'm not an R&D guy. I'm just figuring this out. And if you can't understand that, then I don't understand you. But I do have some other methods for measuring the temperature. So this right here is probably what I'll use. I plan on clipping this in some fashion right to... Where's the cylinder? Give me a cylinder. There we go. All right, this is a cylinder. This is your exhaust port. I plan on clipping it right in there like that so that we can get a temperature on the exhaust port. Actually, it'll go in this side because if we go out this side, the recoil, the air from the recoil will be cooling everything down. So that's what I'm going to try to do, that right there. Maybe I'll go as far as, something. I don't know. Maybe I'll drill a hole, right? And then this will go into the hole. But yeah, I'm going to try and get a better method of measuring the temperature. And if I have to, I could use this. This plugs up to my multimeter, but I don't want to. I think this is the way to go. Anywho, so the temperature thing we're going to have set up, let's see, MSDS. Not a lot, but some of you guys were acting like if it doesn't have a material safety data sheet, and they were saying SDS. No, it's MSDS, material safety data sheet. SDS also tells me something about you. But the material safety data sheet, right now, one doesn't exist for this. So we don't know exactly what they put in there. What strikes me as odd is why anybody cares. I have never looked at, nor do I know anyone who has actually studied and looked at what they put in here besides the people who are engineers and doing this type of stuff. So they could put a bag of smashed assholes in there. I don't care. It's working and it's doing what I like, which is creating more power. Wrapping this up, why am I doing this? For one, I don't need to justify anything to any of you guys. Any of you, right? One of you guys actually was so bold to ask me to share my income tax statements with you. And it's just like, what are you thinking? You know, that my financial business is none of your business. You could work part-time at McDonald's and make a better income than I make doing all of this chainsaw stuff. The amount of money that I make annually doing everything that you see is probably less than 15 grand. So shut up. You have no clue what is going on. You see me on here, you see me with all these chainsaws and stuff, and you make assumptions. You assume things. You see that I made a really nice polished up video for Moto Milk, right? And you assume wrongfully that they're paying me. And it's just like, no, I'm doing this because I used it. I used this product, me personally. Until I used it, I thought it was bullshit. I thought everything these people are saying to me is just BS. I don't believe what they're saying. Then I used it and I went, oh, that is genuinely better. That is genuinely better, especially in the all stock saws. The saws that were 100% stock, this made a tremendous difference in its power delivery versus like the Stihl Ultra, the basic oils and stuff. I couldn't believe it. It was great. But with that being said, it's really expensive. This is a premium product that a lot of y'all, it ain't in your budget to afford. And I get it. Don't buy it. You know, but somehow you feel insecure and you want to still put it in there. No way, that's too expensive. I'll stick with Walmart SuperTech. Okay, stick with Walmart SuperTech. I mean, you know, I've never said anything bad about that at all. It's a fine product. It'll work, right? This is for the person who's looking to have fun and get a little bit more performance and enjoy it. We find out that it's built up a little bit of carbon. It's just not an issue to me, but I can see how it would be an issue to the professionals out there who are putting, you know, seriously legit 10, 15 tanks of fuel through their saw every week. I can see that, you know. So if it's not for you, don't buy it, you know. But if you would like to know where to get this stuff, you can click the link that is directly below in the description of this video. And every time that you buy a quart from that link specifically, I'll get about $1. Probably not even $1. It's probably like 75 cents. And if you want proof that I have always felt the way that I currently still feel about two-stroke oil, which is run whatever you want. You're going to be fine, right? It's going to be all right. Run whatever you want. I recommend 40 to 1. And in this case, oh, why am I recommending 32 to 1? Power. There's only one reason I can find to purchase this. One, it produces more power than other oils. That's from my testing so far. I've yet to see something that makes your saw run as good as this does. So it's power. Power. Torque, RPMs, power. That's the only reason I can recommend running this. And so, since the only reason you're running it is for power, might as well run it at the ratio that produces more power. That's why I recommend 32 to 1 for Moto Milk. If you think I'm a shill who is promoting a product that is known to be bad, that I know as a bad product, but I'm deciding to promote it regardless because I want to get paid something, then you don't know who I am, right? And I am sharing this product because I like it. That's it. And lucky for me, if you buy a quart, I'll get probably about 75 cents. Enjoy, internet and the keyboard warriors everywhere.